Hello YouTube family and welcome back. It's Shakira again. So I've got a little time. I thought I'd do a little back testing of the charts. So I've rolled back some Ethereum activity here just to see if what I'm thinking will work. So I figured I'd just talk us through what I'm thinking, whether or not it would have worked, and then we'll let it play and see what's up. So if that's interesting to you, please go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so, hit the notification bell if I've figured out yet how to set that up, because still working out the kinks, guys. Only day 2 technically, yeah, of this channel being open. It's August 25th. I know I said October 25th in my earlier video this morning, but don't hold it against me. My brain sometimes doesn't quite work with what I'm saying. All right, so let's see what's going on. So we're on TradingView, and I've replayed back up to a point, and we're currently hanging out on August 21st on the 1 hour chart. And I'm not doing anything exciting, like looking at any well, I have 2 indicators that I'm using right now. So imbalance finder and higher lows, just to kind of help me figure out where we are. And if we're looking at like the bigger trend, you see it's been on a pretty much of a downtrend this whole time. So let's see, what am I thinking here? Well, I tend to be a little weird about trying to catch these weird falling knife moments here, because honestly I don't understand them, you know, on the short term, so I stay away from it. And I think that's probably a good way to trade, right? If you don't understand or you don't see what you're expecting to see in terms of like a pattern, then just don't, you know, leave it alone until come back later and look to see if you can find something else. Maybe check other coins, which is something I need to be able to do a lot better. But you know, that's another thing about this channel, so we can like go see who's doing better, and maybe find a couple of other altcoins that I can play with. I have a few over here that I like Ape is brand new, a little ADA, Solano, AVAX, NAIR, etc. Some stuff that I've actually purchased for holding purposes from my own research that I like. But you know, anyway, so let's see, how will this play out? So Ethereum's been on a bit of a downtrend, right? It's gone down, and in all honesty, you know, we could even zoom out even further, because it's good to see where we are in conjunction with everything else, right? So what do we have to the left here, right? So the yellow in this is, you know, for me, imbalances, right? So I just want to see if they've managed to fill that entire imbalance. Wow, okay, so they've come back in and they filled most of that imbalance. How fascinating. I find that the market, the way price works, is so interesting. So every time we see these big pushes up, you know, think of that as the market maker, or the folks that have all the real money, you know, pushing the price up to where they want it, because they've built all of their shorts, and they're taking profit, so they're building their longs from here, and they're taking their profits from their shorts here, is what I'm thinking. So when you see this, it's like, this is when they're like, I'm done, we're good, we've eaten up all we can eat up, and we're gonna move price up higher. At least that's what these types of things say. I mean, this is a nice little break here that we could try and figure out trading, but I'm gonna try and focus on this area right here on the 1 hour, and I'm still working out like what time frames I want to work with. So all right, let's see. So we had a high here, some lower highs, and what I'm seeing here is a bit of a break, right? So I don't know what's gonna happen with it, so I'm thinking to myself, let me do this just to mark off the break. We're just gonna say it's an MSB. It looks somewhat strong only because it rolled up with this green candle strongly and it broke nicely. Now this feels like, you know, a lower low than we've seen in a while, given the traffic that's been going on. So maybe, you know, we're looking at some sort of reversal. So let's see. So I'm thinking there's a market break here on the 1 hour. I'm just gonna, oh, and here's this imbalance that I'd just marked off on the 4 hours. Let's go ahead and make this, so let's imbalance 4 hour, and then let's adjust it down so we can see what's left of the imbalance to be eaten, you know, because price likes to come back and sort that out. All right, so we've got an imbalance down here on the 4 hour. We're on the 1 hour, just kind of specking out where we think price might come back to, right? Because we're expecting some sort of, you know, move up, retrace, you know, back to a section and then go back up again. That's what I'm thinking, right? If you follow like the way price moves, right? So I'm hoping for some kind of move like this. So we're in that up and then a retrace back down, so I can find a decent entry somewhere along here and then ride it up to the next space. Because what's really interesting is we've got a little imbalance here, we've got an imbalance here on the 1 hour. So we're gonna do we're doing that high time frame analysis right now just to see where we can go. So I'm thinking from a target, you know, this imbalance here at 1640, if I get in somewhere down here at 1546 for Ethereum. But we'll see what's left as well on the lower time frames first. So let's just draw out our bullish order block. In this case, the red candle that precedes the upward movement. So I'm gonna say it's the bullish order block. So, you know, opportunities for a long. Let me change the color here and make that green. So make the background a little green too, a little light green, light shade. And normally, you know, since, you know, if I wasn't doing a replay, you know, maybe I would put an alert just above this area, right? Just to know that price is coming back into that zone, and then go back into the charts to check out what's happening at lower time frames, right? To find a proper entry. Because you want to just enter from like 1 hour, you know, the higher time frames. You want confirmation too from the lower time frames. All right, so right now we have two things. We have an order block here, and we have a little bit of an imbalance down here. So let's look to the left a little bit and see if there's anything exciting. Maybe there's like a SNR flip zone or something. Nope, just the imbalance. And if you see something else that I don't see, please put it in the comments, because I'm learning too. So, you know, point out all that fun stuff. Plus, I'm going to put a couple links for the traders I'm using to kind of learn these things. You know, I had no idea what was happening in terms of trading, none of that. So I ended up taking a class from Thomas Crowlow, and that ended up being a really good choice. And then there's also Meet Kaplan, who's the bomb. And eventually, when I figured out how to do these videos properly, I can put links so you can click on them to go check out their pages. No affiliates or anything like that, just folks that I'm actually using to do these, to learn from, right? Also, Traders Reality is awesome. Like, Tino brings the fire. I wish I could speak that fast. I can't. It would be hilarious. Anyway, so let's let this play out a little bit and see how price comes back in. So let's pretend we're gonna put like a little thing here, and we're just gonna wait for it to plow through. Let me maybe speed this up a little bit, because, you know, it can be like super lame to watch price action. All right, boom. So I'm gonna pause right there. Oh, look, haha, spiked right into this zone right here. So let's go into, let's say, let's go into 5 minutes. Let's see what we're looking at on the 5-minute chart. All right, let's see if we can zoom out for a second here. All right, so, you know, we saw this is our order block area, but there's an imbalance below here, right? Right, so on the 5-minute, we can see a lot of juicy things happening, right? So got an imbalance up here that could be a nice target, another one up here that they haven't eaten. There's a nice juicy one up here at 1624 that they haven't eaten. So we're just looking at places where, you know, we can use as targets, right? I know there's a lot of options for using indicators and moving averages and, you know, VWAPs and all that good stuff, but I mean, it really is all about what you're willing to do. I'm gonna do this test without anything but with just these 2 indicators for the moment, and then we can test some other stuff later on in other vids, right? All right, so let's let this play out on the 5-minute, because now we're just looking for like a good entry. So we're looking for like another break on the 5-minute. And we're also just watching the traffic just to see if it's going to bother to go into the imbalance as well, since it's so close, right? Because price could, you know, it likes to equalize itself, and there's literally nothing in here that should stop you, right? So, all right, so if I'd paused here, right, hold on, and if I'd seen, you know, I'm watching this traffic and you've come directly into my area here of awesomeness. You've like broken, you've created a break. It's not clean until like over here, in which case that means, let me zoom in a little bit. I don't have my mouse on me, so don't judge me, all right? But if we zoom in and we look at this 5-minute market structure break, it doesn't actually break properly up until this candle here, and then it breaks, it closes above it cleanly. So, you know, as we're watching this price action, this red candle right here would be my entry point. I know it gets kind of crazy drawing all these things, but you know, let's just change. So let's make this our entry zone here into this, and let's change that to orange, and let's change that background to orange as well so we can see it, right? All right, so if we'd followed this guy and said we wanted to make an entry from here, let me use the prediction tools. What I've been thinking is, with these smaller time frame, more scalping like thing, you know, I'd roll in on the middle of this, and there's no imbalance here, but there's one all the way down here. So I don't know, I'm a new trader, so maybe I'm silly and I enter into my, you know, trade here, right? If I saw this break and I hadn't waited for this big spike to roll up, right? So what's my risk management here, right? You know, I'm thinking about like a 1 to 3 type of thing, right? So if I come up from here and I want like a 3% return, maybe not 3, maybe 2.83, because there's an imbalance up here to be eaten on the 5-minute, and I've got a 2.83%. So my options are twofold, right? I either put my stop loss just below this actually, that doesn't make sense. That I would put my stop loss underneath this thing if I'm being really, really crazy, and then that would be what, 2% on that. That's crazy. Maybe I say a 1% risk, because I don't have a very high risk tolerance, right? So if I said I wanted a 1% risk on that puppy, and I wanted 3% on this as an entry, let's see how that would have played out. Approximations, right? With that kind of entry, let's see. So, and let's say I'd set my limit order in here. So that first one would not, if I gone with my 1%, would not have stopped me out. Nice. But, you know, hindsight is 2020, so let's see what happens. Does it go to eat that imbalance at the bottom? So far I'm doing pretty well, right? Oh, wait. Pause. Oh, look at that, guys. On the money. We would have taken our profit and gone about our business. See? You gotta backtest these things. Now, this is no guarantee, guys, that this would actually, you know, the market could have been like, that imbalance below is super juicy and, you know, knocked me out. But that's why we go to the high time frame first to try and figure out what the trend is, and if there might be an opportunity for a reversal or even a continuation down, find one of those falling knives. But honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, like, if I'm seeing, I'll go back to the 1 hour, if I'm seeing this big drop right here, 1, 2, 3 hits, boom. There's this rule of 3 that Tino taught, like, if they're gonna do stuff, they do it in big rules of 3s. And I don't know that I feel comfortable trying to catch, I've just come in late per this example, right? Trying to catch a falling knife, and there's a big hit to 3, and then we've got this, and that's another thing we should notice, right? We've got these like almost equal lows down here. It just almost feels like a stop hunt, right? When they're just trying to shake out people's stop losses before they like move it back up. But that's a tiny example with a tiny, well, I guess, depending on your leverage, that's not too bad, right? That's 3% times a 3% gain times whatever your leverage is, right? I'm personally not doing like 20x or anything crazy like that. I'm testing with 3x right now, until I get my feet under me. But look at this. That's nice, right? Anyway, guys, I just wanted to throw that on there. It's really important to backtest your trading styles and what you're thinking, because honestly, as I was looking at the charts, sometimes it can be so overwhelming, right? And I can't imagine that other people aren't feeling the same way that I am. But when you see something that makes sense, right, that makes sense to you, then go in there, put your plan together. Where do you want to come in? Make sure your stop loss is someplace decent. That's the other thing that's really hard too, is like figuring out what your stop loss should be, right? And sticking with that, because even if you get stopped out at a small loss and they like dip down, do some more hunting, and then come back right back up into the zones that you think they're going to come back up, you can re-enter later, right? Just watch it. And that's another thing I'm not really good at, is like just re-entering into that trade after I've been stopped out. So just don't lose heart, don't get sad or offended. If you're feeling emotional, just step away from the console, come back the next day, go outside and do something that makes you happy, just relax. Because trading is not easy. It does take a lot of patience, and honestly, like, it's not meant to be like the simplest thing that you're ever gonna do. But it can be a nice way to make some money. At least I think so. I want to end up being one of these folks that can I love a good beach, man. I think eventually I'm going to put something in the back here so you guys can see, like, I don't know, a cool beach scene or something. Like, that's my vibe. But anyway, guys, that's what I want to talk about just in this quick vid. I hope it was quick. And feel free to drop any comments any thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll be back later. And I gotta find a good way to end this. Peace.